Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Tales by Lucy. Today, my co host Sam, and we have Steve as our guest today. Um, Yay!
Thank you very much for having me.
I need one of those little yay, those
Oh,
clap
yeah, like the
hands.
round of
Yeah.
applause, a standing
Applause.
ovation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh,
Thank you, Steve, for coming
thank
and
you for having me.
joining us tonight. So first, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live in Southern California on the 805 side of things. I'm part of a group called the Team Nerd Herd Podcast. I'm one of five co-hosts, and I'm a collector of comic books and all type of things nostalgic. Daytime job would be in the insurance company. So, that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. That's
Cool.
cool. Well, I just met you like about a month ago, I think, when Ian came over to the podcast.
Yeah.
And then you were on the chat, you're like, I have to, and even Ian said I have to go over to the show to tell you some creepy stories.
Yeah. There's a lot of paranormal activity, just coming right at you.
All right.
Yeah, I've been watching the show, and you guys have had some like just paranormal like stories and everything like that. I'm like, oh man, this is the worst. So you just picture it. You're like, do I want to be there? Should I be there? Shouldn't I be there? I gotta go to bed with the lights off.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look, we have comic pops in here
What's going on, Lonzo?
and Exit Zero Comics. What's up, guys?
What's going on,
And
guys?
okay, so we're gonna start with. Let me see. I you see, I should have been ready and have this my little notes.
You're good.
Yeah, no. It's Saturday. It's Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
settling in. We're
Yeah.
easing into it.
Yes. Okay, so first, we want to start with when was your first experience with paranormal and ghosts and stuff like that?
I was 10 years old, and every summer my dad would take me over to my grandma's house over in LA. It's like in the hood. It's like straight hood, like right off of Normandy. And these houses that they lived in were like more Victorian. But they made the houses in like 4x4s, like apartments, like little apartments. And my grandmother lived on the bottom, and then my cousins lived at the very top. And the place was always haunted. I didn't know that, being at 10, And I woke up one morning, and my cousins used to just dart out, like just like a Mexican family, man. Like you can't keep them inside. If kids need to get out, like they want them out.
Yeah.
And my aunt is a single mother, so like she was working, and they were gone in the morning, and I was looking to ask my grandparents, like, hey, I'm hearing them scurrying up there, where can I go up there? And they're like, sure. And
Yeah.
I walk upstairs, and I'm hearing the scurrying from down below, and I walk upstairs, and I like open the door, and I'm like, hey, Jason, Anar, you guys in there? And I don't hear anything. It's just quiet, just still. And my cousin had his bedroom was like a closet, like you could just fit in one bed in there, and it's like a closet bed. So I'm thinking, oh, they're probably hiding in that bed. So I stick my head through, and like no one's there. All of a sudden, I hear scurrying like down the hall, like running, and the door slam, boom. And I immediately like just run down, book it downstairs. I get into downstairs with my grandma. And I'm like, are you sure they're not up there? And they're like, no, it's like they left earlier. Well, we did. That's why we told you this morning. So I'm hearing my cousin walking in. He comes in the gate, and I'm like, hey, Jason, where were you? And he's like, oh, I was over here at the liquor store playing video games. And I'm like, so you weren't upstairs? He's like, no. And I'm like, dude, your place is haunted. And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, this place is haunted. He's like, this place is totally haunted. He's like, the backyard. He's all at night. He's like, one morning I went to the restroom, and I was walking, and he saw what looked like to be a boy. They had a real like cool like orbed glass out the backyard. It was like a window. It was like green, like stained glass and everything like that. He said he thought he saw his brother just sitting there, like just staring out there. And he's like, the Anar. And as soon as he was walking by, their room, because they all slept together, was to the right, and their washroom was right there where the glass was. He was walking. As he was walking, he looked, and both his mom and brother were in bed. As soon as he looked back at the mirror, it's gone. The kid was gone. He like jumped in bed with them. He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "This place is totally haunted." I'm like,
Oh.
"I'm never coming back here again. I love you, grandma, but bye bye, adios."
Oh my god! So just like nothing. Like yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Yeah, yeah,
haunted.
yeah. Yeah,
We
he's like,
know.
"Oh, no worries." Yeah,
That's
That's a better way to take it too.
I
'Cause
guess.
you'd be stressing out. Like, just accept it.
yeah, yeah. He's like,
Yeah, I think that's
they're
what
unknown penance, like
Yeah.
tenants.
yeah.
Yeah. There you
Think, hey, they better pay rent, dude.
go.
Yeah, yeah. You can't be eating here for free.
Yeah. For
Seriously. But that's one thing that I don't know. I know if I know the place is haunted, like I don't want to be there. I don't want to live there, like
Oh yeah,
I will visit. I want to visit and I want to be like, just look around and stuff like that. But for me to stay and live in there, I don't know. Well, I mean, I live with my mom and all her places are haunted and you know, I did like I have said, like I never but while it's happening, I don't know it's
yeah,
happening or being, haunted, I guess. Um till later.
yeah.
Or I guess maybe I'm not trying to think about it well.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's a level of comfort. You're just going on your normal day living.
Yeah, yeah. But like I was telling you before we started, I have talked about it about this place, when we moved into this house and me and him we were just dating. I
Yeah.
had to, I was telling you that I had to ask him to stay because I was so scared and he will walk me to the bathroom because I was scared. I knew there was something there. I never seen anything, but I just had that weird feeling vibe that something is not right. There's some kind of spirits up in here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bad juju. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I moved out, like I didn't I how long did I stay there? I think maybe
Maybe a year.
no, not even the year. It was 6 months because my mom moved out like the year because she couldn't stay there anymore. So I only stayed there for 6 months maybe. Um
Oh.
but yeah, like I think it was just like I lasted 6 months and then I kind of like pushed him into moving in together.
Yeah.
Both the
Kidding.
ghost's fault that we live together, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, she's all, excuse my jerk tenant over here.
I just blame it on the ghost. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Move
That
together.
pressure.
Yeah. Keeping the yeah, it was all cold. The place was all cold. You're like, this jerk tenant always keeps the air conditioner on. She's like, I gotta get up out of here. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's an uncomfortable feeling for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know, like I said, my mom likes that stuff too, but I knew like she felt that the kids were not safe. So
Sure.
my siblings, so she moved them out, she moved out. We fell in love because of the ghost. There you go.
Yeah, I need to meet a nice ghost that's gonna build a pot, like sculpt a pot with me or something like that.
But yeah, that's one thing that I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. If I knew a house was haunted, I know I wouldn't because I have kids.
Oh yeah.
I know I wouldn't move in.
Oh,
I don't
Yeah.
care how.
Yeah, you don't want to put anybody in this situation. I mean, there's just them just kind of blending in and making their presence known, and then you have that other line that they cross that they're like more violent and stuff like that. That's what
Yeah.
you don't want.
Yeah, there's some stuff that you never know what could happen. I mean, you have all those stories about the one that house in, oh my god, I can't remember. I'm fighting the kid that we're just talking about that house.
Charles the Manson house?
No,
No,
Manson
not
house.
Manson's house. No, it was the one that the son was it the son who got possessed and killed the whole family? Or he
Oh,
was
Amityville Horror, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was hearing whisper. The whispers were telling him to kill the whole family and kill the whole
yeah.
family.
That's
And
like the wailing.
hmm
there you go.
You're
Yeah.
like, I could hear you. Stop
That
wailing.
yeah, seriously. So it's like that's something that you never know. Like if it's true, what happens if it was true? If it was a ghost who got, that person got possessed and killed the whole family, or if he was just maybe crazy or sick or something, or what happens if he was schizophrenic, and he thought he was hearing stuff and
Yeah.
it wasn't. I mean, I don't know. It's just you never know with that stuff. So I just
Yeah.
kind of
So many
Can't say.
factors.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's it's kind of, I don't know, it's scary. It's
Mm.
scary.
Yeah, we're
So
going down the rabbit hole.
I
Yeah,
know, I know.
totally.
So what's like the scariest thing so far that it has happened to you?
So my cousin and I, we lived. Well, she lived down below in Camarillo, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of things that like are in the like in the fields and stuff like that. Things that have happened there, and she never told me where she like moved to. I just knew she moved. And one moment, like she told me, "Hey, you want to come over? You could stay the night." She didn't tell me where she lived at, and we're like driving. We get off where the base is at, where the planes are at,
Yeah.
and we're both driving, and all of a sudden there's like this green thing hovering, like over, and all of a sudden it shoots out, just boom, and like scientifically you're probably thinking like, oh, like these are drones, but we call each other at the same time, and we're like, "Did you see that?" And she's like, "I saw it." And I'm like, "What the hell was that?" That was like hovering a little bit and just took off, right, like just darted super
Mhm.
fast. Couldn't be like a drone, couldn't be a plane, look alien like. But like we're driving, and I'm like, "Are you sure we should be coming to your house? Like, this just happened. I'm not sure I want to stay." And she's like, "Oh, don't be such a sissy. Just come on." And I'm just laughing. I'm like, "Oh, I'm just joking." And so we start driving, and we start passing like the crop, the fields, and stuff like that. And we drive past this like dead old tree that looked like someone could have hung from it. And it looks like a lot more like Nightmare Before Christmas ish. Like
Mhm.
there's like there's like a fence, and you go down this like roundabout, and
Oh.
all of a sudden I'm like driving. I'm like, "Roseanne, where are we going?" And I have her on the phone, and all of a sudden I see this like fenced off area, and it says like, "Do not, go into this area. Paranormal activities happening." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, we're in Scary Dairy," and we start driving. We park, and like right smack dab in the middle, there are these apartments and dorms, and
Mhm.
then right next to that is Channel Islands University, aka the psych ward.
Oh
They had
shit.
this psych ward where people would go, and they would do like rumors of electronic therapy and lobotomies and all type
Uh-huh.
of the mistreating of patients and stuff like that. Some say like
Yeah.
they killed them and mistreated them or whatnot. But
Was this one right here?
no, that's
No.
Birmingham High
Okay,
School.
sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is where I
You
want to
tell
would
me.
want to visit, but I would want to visit this there.
Right, this one
Um,
right here.
yeah, so the psych ward basically was turned into Channel Island University, but they have a portion of that cut off. You can't go in
Mhm.
there, and they always say that there's like a lot of the ghost sightings, children laughing, things moving
Yeah.
around on the field, like by the watchtower. And so we
Yeah.
get there, and my my cousin's husband goes to CSI or CSU
Mhm.
for school, and we're there, and like I park. I'm like, "Hey, I'm not gonna stay like for very long," and she's like, "Ah, don't worry about it." Doesn't tell me anything, and it gets later in the night. 8 o'clock comes around, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna get going," and I park my car on the street, and as soon as I look out the window, there's a looming fog that's going from left to right, from the university all the way to the street, covering everything, like pitch. You can't see anything. Covers my car. I look to the right, and it's covering like all the fence. And so, like after this happened, I read the wiki, and it said, yeah, that happens a lot. So I look out. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going anywhere. And she's like, well, don't worry. She's like, I'll sleep, like in the front room with you, and you know, we'll we'll hang out. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, bewitching hour, 3:30, and I wake up. It's
Mhm.
pitch black. She's not even there, and she went like she's gone. The door's
Your
closed in
cousin
her room.
your
Yeah, my
cousin?
cousin's gone, gone. And she had her son, and I'm thinking, oh, like they probably went into the room and to sleep.
Mhm.
But I'm like, oh, what a bunch of jerks. And all of a sudden, the light is in the corner, isn't in like the bathroom lights on. And I'm like looking, and I have this like looming feeling, this gut feeling that something's like looking
Mhm.
at me by the basin of the sink, and it's just like looking at me, and I get this cold feeling and like this real gut wrenching feeling, and I'm like, oh my god, and I'm like, ay, su Cristo, por qué? You know, yeah, yeah. I turn my back, and just like a little kid, I pull the blanket over my head, and I'm like, I say a quick prayer. I'm like, God, please just let me get this through the night. wake up 6:30, 7 o'clock, and yell at my cousin. And it just
Oh,
felt even like worse because it just like was looming at me, and I could feel it was near. It was like it was looking at me. I was not welcome. And 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning comes through. A cousin comes walking out her room, all chipper. I'm like looking at her. I'm like, "You're a real jerk." And she's like, "Oh, Steven, you snored so much, I could not stand it. I had to go to the room." And so I'm
Oh,
sitting there laughing, and I'm like, "Okay, joke's on me." And I'm like, "Hey, by any chance, did you put that light in the bathroom?" And she's like, "No, why?" And I'm like, "Oh my god." And I'm like, "Hey, so there was something looming in the corner." And she's like, "Oh yeah, this place is totally haunted." She goes, like the psych ward and Scary Dairy. She's like,
oh my God.
she goes, "Sometimes the cabinets are open here." And I'm like, "All right," I'm out of here. And as I'm like, "No, like forget it. Let's just eat breakfast." We go to the kitchen, and like all the cabinets are open.
oh no.
Yeah, all the cabinets are open. I didn't see it because when you walk into their apartment, the first thing was the kitchen, and then you have that bathroom, and then it goes down a little hallway to my cousin's room, and then my cousin's room is on the other end. So we're turning, and as we're turning, like all the cabinets are open, and I'm like, "I'll take my breakfast to go. I'm out of here." Yeah,
You
yeah.
knew, like, dang, that is so crazy. So the first light when you guys were driving, what do you think it was? What did
I really don't know. I mean, I don't want to know. I don't want to like really say, oh, like it's aliens, but I've never seen something hover like that, like in like a just still motion and then just take off, like in a
mm,
just crazy angle. And I called my cousin to just to verify with her. I'm like, hey, I'm not tripping, right? Like we didn't have too much booze or anything like that. And she's like, no, I saw that too. And
wow.
I mean, who really knows what that is? It's by the airport. Like you have the naval base there, and like there's certain things that are out there. Um, so I mean, if you think about it, maybe that could be it. But all the other things that happened that night, I was like, I'm never staying here. I think things follow me. Like my cousin on my dad's side, when I lived in Vegas, that was probably the second scariest thing that has
What
ever
was
happened to me.
it?
Um, so
Oh,
I
like,
used
what was it?
yeah. This one got me the same way, like with my cousin. So, um, they live in Vegas, like in Northtown, and it's really not a good neighborhood. It's kind of hood, but there was this like later to find out like there was this old man that lived on the other side of their backyard that like died in the house. Um, but we'll turn about round about that. But um, I was staying at my cousin's house, and the house. As soon as I walked in, I was just like, I had this like feeling. I'm like, oh man, this place is haunted, And my cousin had already knew. He was like, yeah, 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 it's like it's haunted. Same cousin, same cousin. Like he never learned. I need to stop hanging out with him or something like that.
I know.
What I mean?
So you
Yeah, he's my family and everything. But hey, you're bad luck. But so one night I'm staying there, and he goes to bed. My aunt goes to bed, and everything's dark. And I'm at my cousin's bedroom, and he's moved out. He's living on the other side, and he's a DJ, so he has like records there and everything like that. And he has a computer and everything. So I'm sitting down, I'm watching anime, and I feel like something walk by the hallway, and I like turn and I look. I'm like, oh, whatever. Maybe it's somebody going to the bathroom, and I like kind of turn everything off, and something told me to sleep towards the window, so that
Mhm,
I could see like towards like the hallway. Um, Otherwise, his bed was facing like the doorway, so
mhm.
I would be looking like Freddy Krueger with like knives coming over my head if it was a ghost or something like that. But so I'm laying there, and I'm really like antsy and unsettled, and I look I like start to move, and I look, and I kind of get woken up and sleep, and it's around the same time probably I'm checking my cell phone, and I look up, and I see what looks to like have like an arm by like the casing door like this, just kind of looming, and it's dark, a dark person
Oh hell no.
just sitting there looking at me in bed, and I'm like, Dia?
You're like, "Can I
And like,
help
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah, yeah. I'm like, you're gonna have to pay something if you want to get in this ride. But the next thing was, I'm like, Jason, and nothing, and it just stood there and like stared at me, no facial
Oh,
expression, just dark. And all of a sudden, the same thing. Turn over, like pull the covers over. I'm like, oh my god, just I'm never staying here again. And it felt like it was getting like closer. And all of a sudden, my
Oh,
cousin comes in and turns the hallway light and comes
Oh,
in to go to the bathroom. And I get up and I'm like, Jason, and he's like, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, "Eh, were you just in this doorway?" And he's like, no. And he's like, I just got up, fool. I just went to the bathroom. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, hey, something was looming over and looking at me. And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, this place is haunted. Like I didn't want to tell you, but like the last time. And I'm just like staring at him like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, um, a long time ago, there was a house, and my brother and my other brother that went over, and it was like raining, and they hopped the fence, and they were trying to talk him to go in, and it was an abandoned house. It was right on the other side of the backyard, and my cousin went through and was like, they were just kind of walking through this abandoned house, and it's weird. Nothing else was there, and it's kind of like a calling to my cousin because he's a DJ, right? The one thing that was left in that house were records. So he picks them up, takes them back. Worst mistake you can have ever can happen, right? You can't go messing with anything. He picks up the records, takes them back, and they were in that room. Um, and I didn't find this out till like maybe like the next morning, my cousin was telling me, and I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, yeah, I'm never staying here again. I'm gonna stay with your brother in the safer place of town from here on in. I was like, you guys need to take these records, get rid of them.
yeah.
Like later down the line, a lot of other things were happening to my aunt, like where she kind of felt like it was like a sleep paralysis, but held, right? As she was walking, she would get like stuck in, or like there would feel major pushes. So she ended up saging the house and everything like that. I went back in there to visit, not to stay the night, but I went to visit, and it felt a lot more cleaner. But after that, like learning the story behind that, I was like, oh, it was that guy, because you had those records in there, and you took those records and you left
Wanted
me
his
in the more.
records back.
you know,
Yeah, he was like, hey man, I want to spin too. Yeah, it scared the crap out of me. I was just like, never again.
That wow, yeah. I just his Sage Northcutt went to
Sage
the
Northcutt, stupid.
Yeah, yeah. My cousin just dropped a text to me. He's like, he's probably on right now. My brother's on too, but my cousin was saying, talk about the apartment when I was telling you earlier. My first paranormal experience. He's like, talk about the backyard. So like
Oh,
the backyard used to be really like dark, and they had these rickety old like wooden stairs. They were like no, not safe. You would could feel like the shit sway when you'd walk up.
Oh,
But back there, they had all these like wooden garages with like windows and locks, but you couldn't see the window, you couldn't see through it. But every night, it would be like there would be like you. It sounded like people were walking in the backyard. Like you would see like footsteps in there, and we used to play there like in the backyard. But it was like there were like ugly like anything like you could put in a horror film, like ratty old plants and stuff like that were there. It just looked really like you shouldn't be playing there. But
yeah.
at night, you would hear like steps, like because it used to have like a backyard, and there were used to be like two little aisleways, so you could see windows would be seeing outside on the side. But you would always hear footsteps walking like past everybody's bedroom window out to the back and forth, and you'd be like, "Who is that?" But there were four different people living in like different apartment areas. But at night, it was on and popping back there. I guess it was a spot for them. But yeah, it was crazy though.
I always wonder why always at night though. Like
Oh, the
why?
things lurk. That's when they can get out there.
I,
Do something strange for a little piece of change.
I know my mom's house, like it happens during the day too, right?
Oh yeah.
But a lot of the times, I'm like, most. I mean, I know most of the times everything happens at night. Was it because you're kind of like off guard, or
They say around 3:30 is the time that spirits walk around. So that's like probably the worst time you should get up in the morning
yeah,
if you're more prone. I mean, there are more people that are prone to certain things. Like you say, you walk into a room, you feel unsettled. Like you just have this gut feeling. It's unexplainable, but you'll know if you have it. You won't be put in any danger. But I think around that time is probably where most spirits are awakened. Like it's their time to kind of walk around and And I have no idea what the specific is. I don't make the rule, but I think around, and it's weird because I wake up at 3:30, like on the dot, sometimes 4,
That's
and I'm
crazy.
like laying there in bed. Sometimes I'm like,
You're
I
a
think,
good-
Take that ghost walk.
yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's time to get, yeah, the alarm clock to go outside and get scared. You know, Mom.
Better
Yeah.
than coffee, dude.
Thanks, guys. 3:30. It's about 7:25 p.m. I might be scared later on.
I know.
You're
You
good.
know, yeah. That's I don't know. Like, it is. Sorry, I got like kind
Oh
of
no.
because he's like, mom.
I'll go check on him.
He's all mom, and he wants stuff, so it got me like
Yeah,
sidetracked.
yeah, no problem.
But okay, so did you guys the backyard? Did they ever dig around to see if there was like somebody buried there, or did you look up the history of the place or anything like that?
I didn't look up the history, but I was talking to my cousin like earlier because I was trying to fact check. I was like, at 10 years old, you don't know what's happening. You don't know. You remember it for
Yeah,
sure, but
yeah,
I call them in the morning, and there you go, Devil's
yeah,
Hour.
yeah,
Not for me. It's
yeah,
night time for the night. But
yeah.
I think at that, like I was talking to my cousin, just fact checking. I was like, hey, I wasn't tripping when all this stuff happened, and he's like, no, no, no. And he's the one that told me about the backyard. He's like, you remember the backyard and like all footsteps and all these tracks and everything like that. Um, I think he was telling me that like a family lived there all at once
Hmm.
in all those apartments, and one of the family members ended up going like crazy and
Mm.
ended up like killing like some of the people in that place. And I'm finding this out like this is like probably the earliest of morning. I had no idea about that, and I was like, oh, and I was like, why? Like, wouldn't you guys tell us these things? Like,
What do
like you're comfortable with this? Like,
now that you know all this stuff, now do you ask before you spend the night at somebody's house? Now you ask, hey, is this place haunted? Or do you still just go blind? You just go and stay.
yeah, the year of those places were built were like in the 20s and 30s, so
Mm,
they were made into apartments. So it's very victorial. Like
mm,
my where my grandma lives now. I mean, she just has ghosts following her. Where she lives now, there's upstairs. There's a ghost there, right there.
mm. You need to send me pictures of her house because I love that stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll send you a picture. Like same thing, same window,
Yeah.
like same ornate, like real crazy window. I mean, the places are beautiful. I mean, when you look at those houses and the architecture, but
I
there's a lot of history there. So how many people have like died or passed away there?
yeah.
And then you're in the not the best part of LA. I mean, there's a lot of certain gang activity and things like that. But yeah,
My sister-in-law, this is Sam's sister. Are you sure he's related to us?
hand to the screen, Erica. Put your hand to the screen.
Seriously, like, yeah, thank you guys for joining.
Uh,
But yeah,
oh, man.
it's yeah, like Erica, I don't know if you watch her episode, if you
Oh yeah,
haven't,
no, I did. I did.
she has some crazy stories.
Yeah.
Uh, but
Even worse ones than I feel like I've had. I mean, I haven't gotten to that limit. Like I've had instances where I live now.
yeah,
Like things happen here, and luckily, like you could count on good old Sage.
yeah, seriously,
Hail Marys and
my
everything.
My mom never. Yeah, I'm gonna ask her to. I'm gonna tell her she needs to use that at her house right now. Like I'm always mentioning my mom, and my mom even said, "You always mention me in your in your youth and your show because it's
Yeah,
like
she wants royalties now.
yeah, like her house is so haunted, and it's like I went over like I think I talked about it in the last episode that I went over, and then uh uh we were talking about ghosts and stuff like that, and then when she was telling me things that like things falling or hearing noises and stuff like that. Like right now, my little sister was saying that she got out of the shower and in my mom's room, she could hear something like under her bed, or like you feel like somebody's sitting on the bed and things like that. She was telling me little things like that.
Yeah.
But when I went over to her house, like I just went over to eat, and we were talking about ghosts. And on the corner of my eye, I saw a dog in her backyard. They have a dog. They have a dog, and she's a German Shepherd, so she's
Yeah.
kind of big, and she's black. So I see it, and I was like, and I'm scared of her dog because she tried to attack me. So
Oh yeah, German shepherds are ruthless.
yeah, so like they put her away in the room, and I was like, "Oh my god, your dog I think just got out. Like it's in the backyard." And they went to check, and it was nothing. But I know I saw in the corner of my eye the dog like
Mm,
ram passing by,
yeah,
and there's nothing. I'm like, "What the hell?" And we're just talking about ghost stories.
yeah.
And there's something I'm gonna show you guys right now. Like I was FaceTiming with her. I don't know if I talked about it last week. And
Oh shoot! Yeah,
did you
that's
see
right.
it? Okay. So I was talking. First, she sent me this message first before I show it.
Oh my God, here we go. Strap
Like,
in, folks.
yeah.
I'm all leaning over to read it, and then something's gonna jump out the screen.
I know.
Oh no!
No, she's like, she was saying, she's like, oh look, Cece, my little sister just took this picture. Look, and then when I was FaceTiming her, I was able to see it, but you see it on her glasses right there. Let me put it on
Oh no, I'm
right
out.
there. It's like
Oh Lord.
wait,
That's the dude that was standing in your doorway, dude.
Yeah, man, he's getting around, dude. He's like, hey, I'm looking for a place to rent into.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that
Oh no.
when I was FaceTiming her, you can still see it on her.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
And I was like, I'm like, Mom, somebody's there. Somebody's, and she's like, Nope, no, there's nobody. She showed me around, and there was
Oh,
no one.
oh
Nobody
my God.
around.
No.
Like I know.
Violence was like, no.
It's like it's following me.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey guys, if I don't make it tonight, I just love my family, and yeah.
I
All
know.
of a sudden, there's a power outage. Like, "Choo."
Okay.
Oh
What'd you guys do?
Hell no.
What'd you guys do? You're like, we lost Steve. We
Chilling at
lost
the door. What's up,
Yeah.
y'all?
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to come in. Yeah. I hear a knocking at my door, like Edgar Allan Poe. I'm like, ain't nobody here.
I said, but yeah, no, my mom, she showed like the thing around. I was like, Mom, it has to be something that it looks like. Look at Steve, he's like, I'm sweaty.
Yeah. I don't think I can take this, y'all.
Yeah. No, I'm like, something has to be like, I'm like, it has to be your dresser, it has to be something. She's like, no. She showed me around, and there was like nothing there, nothing that it could look like a person,
Yeah. Everybody's saying time to sell, and you better get your mom out of there.
I
She got the
know.
glasses from she has those glasses from 13 Ghosts.
Oh,
Oh no. That was a freaky deaky kind of movie, man.
The Juggernaut.
And you know what? Like
Oh yeah.
she doesn't get scared. Like she likes scary movies. She likes all this
Sure.
scary stuff. Like she watches stuff like and she's not really scared because she said that it's not really bothering them. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's like his
Some of
cousin.
them don't.
Like,
your
it's not weird.
cousin, yeah,
yeah.
like your cousin is like, But
Yeah.
I will not stay at her house by myself. Like,
Nah, he's all accustomed to it and everything. He's like, oh, what are you gonna do? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm like that's a great attitude to have.
Yeah.
You know, like, I wish I had that.
yeah, and
You
you
know?
know what? They did told my mom. I think her neighbor told her that the person that lived there before them, the husband passed away there, and
Oh
that
yeah.
so it was
Oh man.
like maybe a couple years ago. But I'm like, oh my god, it creeps me out.
Oh
It's so
yeah.
creepy. And it's like you said, those old houses that they've been from the 1920s. Back then, a lot of the people died at the homes, not in the hospitals or whatever.
Yeah.
From being old, and they'll die at the house.
Ooh, right.
But I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
It is. That was freaky. Oh.
I
Yes,
know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's
What?
what
Oh no,
era?
yeah, we saw
We saw
that
it.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like we were with Romy.
Oh, was it? Okay.
She asked you what you were eating too, man.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah.
did, yeah,
I told you I was a Kit Kat.
oh, she said if you
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of
Then
cats,
when I saw that comment, I'm like, no wonder it sounds like children crying. There's a cat every around that time. It sounds like cats crying. Well, I find out that it's them being in heat, but there's this cat like by my window that always sounds like like a child crying.
Oh hell
And
no.
I'm like, say, man, you better get a blanket out there, like a good old fashioned Mexican blanket, and cover yourself up. I won't go out there and check on you.
The wolf one. The wolf
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Yeah, Erica said we need to do a prayer, guys, after this.
Oh, yeah.
We'll Google one.
A cleansing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that sage and Palo Alto wood, burn that sucker up.
Yeah.
There's a ghost right there.
Oh, look
Yeah, I
at it.
was gonna say.
I
Hey!
think the worst, like that, if it's a ghost, I think it's like what?
He put chocolate on me.
Did he? Hey, no! Oh my gosh, you see, little demon over here. But yeah, it's. I think ghost kids. If it's a kid, ghost, it's the scariest thing ever. But then
Oh,
at
yeah.
the time, as a mom, I can think of like, oh, that is so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, that poor child.
Yeah, but it's like the cats. And also they say when the dogs are barking and they're all bunch of dogs barking at the same time, there's something.
Yeah, their
happening.
senses are
Yeah,
heightened by it.
yeah, but it's man, yeah, no, oh gosh, I get so scared, and I'm telling you, wherever my mom has lived, like in it's always haunted.
Yeah.
But I remember there was the where my mom lives right now, around the corner, that's where my aunt lived, and they said it was a little girl, and that's where everybody will see it. And I remember my aunt, I think one day she said that she was trying to get out of her room, and my cousin used to like hold the doors, mess with us, and then she thought it was him, and she's like, open the door, like stop, like whatever, and yelling. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
she was like trying to, and it's one of those, like, I mean, the apartment doors that they're not that strong, whatever, and then you can't really lock them. And she was inside the room, so you couldn't lock from the outside. But she said it felt like they were holding the door, and then finally, like when she was getting mad, they finally let go, and she was able to get out. But those are like the worst when I feel like when they're kids and they mess with you. I'm like,
Yeah, my grandma's house currently right now, it's only in the top of their attic, but there's a kid that's headless that's there.
oh,
Yeah. And it's
oh,
yeah, my cousins have seen the bed indent when they've been asleep. Um
oh,
it's been reported like by my cousin's wife that she's seen that headless thing. It was like hovering over her. Like
oh my god.
and she told my cousin in the morning, and yeah, that area like is heavily haunted down there. It's like Victorian and everything like that. Crazy.
Here it's haunted. I feel because it's like the Indian
Oh yeah.
land,
Oh yeah.
here it's
Yeah.
haunted. So it's like um in partly they build and on top of all that stuff, especially like Palm Springs. I don't know, but this area
Oh, yeah.
too, because I know like the area where when I was telling you, like where my mom lives, there are like older houses, like the 80s maybe. Mostly all the houses around here are like 80s, maybe 70s, some of them 50s.
70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not as old as like some of the places, but
Oh my god. Yeah, these old places it's giving me the creeps.
I know. But I mean, yeah, it's all usually like the old houses when
With the history.
with yeah, they have some.
Yeah.
There was actually a really good, or there was a movie that we watched that made a good point of like places that are, it was rigor mortis. They're saying like there was this guy that could see ghosts, and he could see all kinds of ghosts because people had lived there before, but it's not that the house that they're attached to the house, they're attached to the land. So even though
Yeah.
back when
Yeah.
there wasn't any houses, it
Mm,
was just the land itself.
that's true.
I was like,
That's
Yeah,
oh,
that was their time.
yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
So,
Our friend telling us looking up that thing. Yeah.
Lights on. Yeah, lights on.
No, and she says she's not
OC
moving
all
now.
the way.
No, hey girl, it's haunted over there. It's haunted everywhere. Wherever you go, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter,
Yeah.
know. just buy a new house and you'll be okay, I think. But like you said, if it's the land, it could be the land, who knows. I remember hearing something about the houses, like make sure when you buy a house that all corners are occupied, that there's not a empty corner. What?
He just looked right now.
Checking my, we got our corners
No, no,
covered.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, he's like
From the
check and check.
no, no, no. The street, because that way
The
they don't.
street.
Yeah, when the street, there's a street and the
Okay.
four corners
Okay.
that they're all occupied. Because if one is empty, that's when the ghost can travel through there or something
What the
like
fudge?
that.
That's
I
so
remember-
specific.
I remember hearing something
Rules are
like
rules.
I don't know. So
That's how they travel. Also, it has to smell like something,
Yeah, like vinegar and like garlic and stuff.
and it has to be 20 feet away.
oh shit.
Yeah. They gotta be jumping on one leg and barking like a dog.
God, no.
That's a good. I never heard that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember. I don't know where I heard it. I don't know who said it. I
Yeah.
just remember that.
It stuck with you. Yeah.
that it stuck with me. It's like
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, my mom doesn't live like her where she lives. There's not really. She's in the middle of the street. I don't know. So
She lives in.
yeah. Her house, her street. What would make fun of her is like Little Mexico right there.
There's a ton of people there. Yeah.
Because their streets like always packed with cars, like always, and it's like the whole street.
I wonder how
think
many
they're all
ghosts are in
they're
that
all
street.
Mexican.
Huh?
I know. I wonder because that my tia Claudia's house is like right behind it. That's the one that was
Oh, yeah.
haunted too. So
Oh yeah. Right.
No way.
So now, where are the places that you would like to visit?
So there's a school that used to be a infirmary for World War One. It's called Birmingham. It's in the valley. It's here in the San Fernando Valley off of Balboa.
What's
It's
the name of the place?
it's called Birmingham High School.
Oh, okay.
but-
hold on.
But in the I think it was like 1962 or 1942. It used to be. I think somewhere it was like a World War hospital,
Uh-huh.
and they made it into a high school. And my dad's been retired, but like Hispanic parents, they don't stay retired. They want to work. And he was a janitor here for a short time, and it was at night. And he told me like several stories where he was like in like mopping like the restrooms, and all of a sudden stalls would just go like cracking open and just clack 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 clack. And my dad is not as scared, but he's pretty calm and cool, collected. But he said like there's used to be like little like footsteps. The lights would go out when they were in like the locker rooms cleaning. The lights would just
Ugh.
yeah, they would hear like walking. But this area is like heavily haunted. I mean, if it's something like 45, back in 1945, and it was a World War One hospital and infirmary. So how many like soldiers probably died there? There's been sightings of like a hooded guy with like keys by other a lot of the janitors that work there at night. They say have like major sightings. So I mean, I would really like to go there and kind of. When my dad was working there, like he came white one day and pale,
Yeah.
and he said that there was one of the senoras that was working there. She like blasted out the gymnasium in full stride, and she goes, "Hermano Mario, Hermano Mario," and she's like, "I saw a ghost," and my dad's like, "Okay." He's like, "Let's walk over there. Like it's okay." My dad's a churchgoer, so he truly believes in God and everything like that. So I guess that's his thing. Me, I would never go there. I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna put my 2 weeks in. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put my day in, and I'm out. But that place is just has full of like haunting sightings. Like they've heard like in the girls' area of the locker rooms, like one janitor was cleaning up there. The lights went out, and she heard someone say like, "Come here, like come here." And my dad's like just got there, just started working there. Not lately, like as far he's done, but when he started working there, all these like janitors would go in and out, and he was wondering like, why are these people just kind of churning in and out of there? and the haunted places are like in the gymnasium, like in the locker rooms, by the pool, and on like around that campus. It's a small campus. It's real dark over there too, from what my dad says. But that's another place. I mean, aside from being stuck in between Scary Dairy and the CSU campus, I'd probably want to do that too. I hear Scary Dairy is pretty freaky at night, but those
Yeah.
are like the two places I'd want to go. I mean, it's close by, like it's right there. Um,
And where is this one at? You said in San Diego, right?
no, no, no. Birmingham is not in San Diego. It is Birmingham is in the It's in the San Fernando Valley. So it's off Balboa Avenue, and Van Owen, I believe. So it's a whole high school. There is like a certain area that's kind of cut off,
Mhm.
but they like a lot of this. They tell a lot of the students don't go there. Like don't hang out there.
Is it this one
Um,
right here? Let me see. I want to see it.
yeah, yeah. That's it. That's it. Birmingham Charter High School.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This.
that place is haunted like a mug. Like
Dang.
I mean, you see the high school right there, or the
Mhm.
hospital right there. If you scroll down,
Ooh,
Yeah.
let me go.
yeah,
There we go.
Where?
yeah.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, it for me it's like maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes drive up there. Like if I
Mhm.
got on the freeway and hit it. But like being that my dad worked there, he was I think that really stuck with him and resonated with him. He was like, I got to get out of here.
Dang.
Um yeah, but he has a lot of stories. Like he was born in El Salvador, so he has a lot of stories of like that area. Um, he has a lot of the stories about like the house that my grandma lived in, the first apartment, like that first apartment. He
Yeah.
has stories here that have happened to him. Like he's told me like some crazy stories, just like in his church going stuff. Like
Yeah.
back in Vegas when he lived at Vegas. I don't know. It's just so weird and so odd that um these things kind of happen. But yeah, this is the place I'd want to go. I'd want to
Crazy.
get a major flashlight, maybe a fog light, and just kind of walk through there and
Yeah.
hear it all.
Yeah. And so do they let people go like just to visit for paranormal stuff?
Um, I don't think so. I think they really try to prohibit that. Um, yeah, Paranorman, right? Well, I got that touch, man. All these things, weird things follow me.
The Downey Insane Asylum.
Oh, what is?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know about that?
Like no, 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 no. I haven't heard about that. But there's like you got to believe like we're surrounded by a lot of things that have happened prior,
Yeah.
and like a lot of these things they really try to keep like behind closed doors. I hear Hollywood, like certain parts of Hollywood are
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
haunted.
That
Um,
house that Brendan Shaw was talking about on dang it, I had just looked for it that they've been trying to sell for a long time, and uh they can't sell it, and he said it was in oh my god, he said it was kind of close by his house.
I remember faintly.
you guys want to know something really good? I'm like right next to the Manson like area. Like
Oh,
I'm in
shit,
Simi
really?
Valley, so I'm in Simi Valley, and it's Canoga Park, right? They
Uh-huh.
like in those mountains. There's this thing called Box Canyon. You never want to get stuck up there at night. Like
Oh,
it's like a real rural road, but it takes you it's like a secret shortcut to get past the valley if you're like trying to get to the other side of the 101. But that area in the hills, it's like crazy. There's just so much like history back there. Like where Brendan Schaub was. I'm like, dude,
he
like that was
posted it. He
close.
was there.
Yeah, he was there. I'm like, oh my god, that was on my neck of the woods. Well, he lives like I think he lives like in Venice, so like that's not too far for him to come down. Um, but yeah, that area is just right up the hill. Like right, if we go to Santa Susana, where I live in Simi, you're exiting Santa Susana, and then you're going right into those hills.
Damn.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
been crazy.
History.
Yeah, like a couple
It's way creepy.
episodes ago, they were talking about like when they were talking about the haunting.
Yeah, I
thingy.
don't remember the
Yeah,
name though.
I don't know. There's a place in LA that they can't sell. Like, I can't remember the
Because
name
there
of
was
the
like
house.
murders in there, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
like the
Someone committed suicide in a bathroom, I think, right? Too. there?
I don't know. I just know in this house that it was like a husband and wife, and then the husband killed the wife, and then he committed suicide or something like
Mhm.
that. And then later on, a couple owned the house, but never lived there. They had everything there, like like whatever they own, but just never lived there. And then I guess a couple passed away, and then the son got the house, but he never lived there either. So after whatever happened long time ago, they just nobody will live in that house. But I can't remember the name of the place where it was.
Does it
Los
have
Gatos, Los Felix, or something.
Oh yeah, Los Feliz.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's what it
man,
is.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. You're
Yeah.
asking the wrong guy. I'm not. Don't ask me.
I know
Yeah.
he's not a very
Road trip.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. That's why my
Lucy.
sister was asking if like you were related to us because I don't see it. You know,
Yeah.
when we were growing up, they saw everything. I'm like, huh? I'm
Yeah, there it
watching
is.
Mighty Max.
Okay,
Yeah.
Los Phillies mansion. That's what it is. And Los Felix
Oh,
murder house.
you've already looked this up.
Oh,
It's in your history.
oh, then I guess we have to look.
Come on,
about
Flo.
No, favorites. Yeah, favorites.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of this one.
there's so many that it's hard to keep up. You know.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
so many
it's
crazy places.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's Hana. Look at this little girl.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that stuff
that doll says it all.
It's still there.
is still there. They left it
That's
like
expired.
they have that for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. That tussin.
That's
That's
a
how.
nice chair.
Yeah, that is a nice chair. We're looking at the furniture. Ooh,
Yeah.
So we're all trying to property brothers it up over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This room looks so drab.
I'm more of a chick
Yeah.
game type of guy.
Okay, yeah. I'm with you. Your little farmhouse living.
I got you. Let me. Where's my
Yeah.
barn door?
Yeah. What's up, y'all? Yeah.
Nothing, just working.
That is so. Yeah, you. Yeah,
Oh,
that,
man.
but see, like that's the house that
Oh, she's thirsty.
Oh, shut up.
What? What? She ain't got to be in the photo.
Yeah. That's, there's a meme right there for you. She's like, I think I'll buy the house. Yeah. They're like, and that's a stereotype there too. She's like, nothing bad will happen. That's like the recipe for the next horror movie.
Yeah, that's the last time we saw her.
Yeah. And she never ever was seen again. And then the movie's like, Fiend. Yeah, Fiend.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's the way
god.
if you really want to scare somebody.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Okay, she said that she tried to go to that and say, you escaped the insane asylum. I'm just kidding.
They wouldn't accept you.
Just got into one of the buildings. It just had everything scattered us.
As if they just left or they died. Dang, they
That's
died.
scary. Well,
Yeah.
Maybe it was
Let's
Thanos.
Thanos.
yeah, like it's. You see, let's do it. Yeah, Ghost Hunter Coachella. That would be cool because I'm sure there's a lot of places here. I wish like we should probably do it. Yay, that would be cool. Look at
Live action. Yeah, live action.
yeah,
Live action like a comic. We could do our own live action comic.
yeah.
It really happens. We're writing it for real because we've seen it.
Yeah,
The next best thing. Talk to us, Image.
yeah. Okay, you should do. Lucy like Ghost like Ghostbuster. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be too scared, like honest, to bring something back with me. You know, not
Yeah.
well. It's just like bringing something back to the house, and like I said, because of the kids and everything, like I do get
Yeah,
it.
there's definitely chances of that.
Yeah, like oh, there you go. Mac will record our friend. That'll be funny. That'll be cool though. But yeah,
Where would we go?
I don't know. We have to look at
The
those
Indian
houses.
Burial Ground.
Oh my god, that'll be so scary.
We got kicked out of there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
It's
in Palm
It's in Palm
Springs?
Springs, yeah. The reservation,
I
Indian
just
reservation.
feel like that would be disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
That I don't know. To go hunting burial.
Yeah, trespassing on their land. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not wise. I mean, anything that you hear creeping on the back of you, You should never turn. You bring it back.
Yeah, that's one thing that I like to watch videos of like abandoned places, and they always say like they don't, if they touch it, they put it like right where they left it, where it was. Like they never take anything, nothing ever, because they, for
Just don't get
respect
caught.
and for
Just don't get caught.
Yeah.
yeah.
5-finger discount. Yeah.
Wear gloves. There was that that lady that stole an artifact from Pompeii.
Oh
Remember that?
yeah,
And she said she ended up getting cancer twice, and
the worst
she
one.
very bad financial problems, and she ended up sending that artifact back. She was like, "I'm sorry. Ever since I got it, I've had nothing but bad luck."
And that happened a few times, right? So that people
would steal it
will
and send it back,
send
send the shit back.
But
Yeah.
Why do
respect.
you even need it?
I know.
Yeah.
like,
Respect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just exactly. Respect.
yeah,
Just like in the 80s, back in the hip hop days,
Respect with a
yeah,
K.
yeah.
Yeah.
They don't take old records.
Why'd you got to ask? Yeah. Don't take no old records. Like if you get in an abandoned house, like with nothing there, do not pick up records. Like, why did that happen? You're just this young adventurer, and all of a sudden he comes back with records. He wanted to spin them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm lying there, none the wiser. Yeah, good old, with Ned. Yeah, Ned. Yeah, Ned was like, "Where they at?" Yeah, all I see is teeth and eyes. Teeth and eyes and a black face. Where they at? Yeah. I would have jumped out of bed like Shaggy and did this, running out the door. If the record player played the record and it scratched, I'd have been like, I'm out of here. No way.
Oh my god, so funny. Yeah, no, it's that's too funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah, don't never take anything. But I don't know, here will be kind of hard unless people will come out and say, "Hey, I have a haunted house. You can come over." But then you have to buy all this equipment and all that stuff.
Yeah. And my liquid is not going anywhere right now. I'm not cell phone calling just yet, but we'll get there.
Yeah. What other place do you wanted to talk about too? Let me see. There's another place that you wanted to. Let me see. Let me show this one real quick.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you. Send me this one. I want to talk about this one real quick. Let's see where is it.
Oh yeah.
This one right here.
Okay, so this is Scary Dairy. So as I was driving to my cousin's house,
this one?
you see the gate that it says no trespassers. It says paranormal activity there, and it's the dairy. This dairy has a lot of basically like this that it's in the crops, right? So there was no real civilization out there. Like you had to drive further out. You still do. You're still out there somewhere in the Tules of Camarillo or Oxnard. And this dairy, they put a dairy there for these people to work there because some of these people that were in the psychiatric ward would work there part-time. But a lot of speculation, I'm not sure if it's true, but I was reading up on that, and a lot of speculation said that they kind of murdered cattle there. Somebody got out of the ward and ended up murdering people in there. And so there's massive paranormal activity. You could see it there. It's all full of graffiti. The kids go there to chill, but there's been mad sightings. Scary Dairy. Look at haunted dairy equals mad cow disease. Yeah, you might go wild with that vitamin D.
I was just thinking the girls are cows or moo.
Yeah.
Instead of boo.
Yeah. She's sitting over there like Winchester Mansion. Why are you going to a dairy? Yeah, you got to really evaluate your guests here, Lucy. Yeah.
I thought we already did Winchester.
Yeah.
Man, it's so typical.
Yeah, no, I always talk about
It's so typical.
so basic. Just kidding. Okay.
Everybody knows that. Yeah.
I know. Oh my god! You know what?
We're trying to school you on some sightings here, and you're over here saying Winchester House. Yeah.
Girl, you missed the last 5 episodes. I always talk about it. I feel like I always talk about the same
Yeah, I know. Look up
places.
your history.
Because I forget
Let's
I
just go
talk
through your
about
history
it.
real quick.
I need to watch my own shows. I can remember what I talk about.
Yeah.
It's called
Yeah.
King Theory. Let's do it.
Let's-
This is the like without the drunken history. This is like the new yuck like kind of like paranormal sightings, right? There's a good type of laugh, but we freak you the hell out with these stories.
yeah. Oh, there it is. Hold on. He's gonna. Let's see.
Let's see here.
He found it over here.
Oh my god. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, there it is, the gold mine. But so like as you know, like when I was talking to you guys about looking outside my car, yeah, scary. It was scary, Derry.
There he is, dude. That's not photo.
He never, he never made it out.
The last photo we seen of
Yeah,
him.
Mabel, she never made it out.
No, Mabel. Come back. Oh, there's a little blood right there. Oh shit. Oh no.
Yeah,
Wait.
that's
That
taking
milk-
it like
Milk, huh? Right there. Milk and blood.
yeah,
Milk, blood, and tears.
yeah. That's the cover for a new album. Blood, sweat, and tears, like milk, sweat, and tears. We
Yo,
fit.
look at this one.
There's that's it. We
That's
fit
the
to
album
scare you.
That's the album
Yeah.
number right here.
Volume 2.
Album number 3 is we fit to scare you. Oh man,
Oh no.
That's crazy.
It looks crazy.
That looks scary.
message.
Yeah. That's a trip.
Oh my god. He is angry.
Yeah,
Man,
this
when
place
you
is abandoned, man. And I'm not even lying. As I look out the window, like there's just cold like fog. That just it looked like a wave, basically, that's covering the school, covering the street, into covering this area, so you could see it from the right faintly, and everything's just covered. So that whole block is just popping. It's like the block party for paranormal activity.
Wow.
Dang.
Let's see.
Updated
Road to
20
hell. There it
Road
is.
to hell? The road paved what?
The road to hell is paved with them.
It said all like they said also like someone hung themselves. No, I mean nobody's really like I mean mad stuff could happen here. I mean you're going to a psychiatric ward. You know there were also people that abused drugs that were kept in that asylum. There was somebody I don't know his name per se, but there was a saxophone player that went into like he was like pretty well renowned, went into a hotel and went like kind of loony, came out butt naked. You know, like they looked at him and they're like, "Hey, we got to put this guy in the ward." But they in the school they say that there's sightings and they hear like trumpets playing.
Oh,
Like so his ghost is like kind of like lingering around there.
dang. That is so creepy.
You know, I got tears in my eyes and I'm not crying from being sad, man. Jeez.
Laughing, I know. I'm like,
Yeah, like we're all messing with these ghosts. They're like talking crap, huh?
And Cowgirl's gonna
Wait
get
until I'll get you at 3:30. Yeah.
And we know you're lactose intolerant.
you are lactose
I am lactose intolerant.
Yeah, you gotta stay away from that, man.
Yeah.
You might have a cow's face looking at you like in the doorway, like that good old Ned.
Like this, dude.
Yeah. He's not gonna say where are my records. He's gonna be like, yeah, just
Oh my god, guys.
uh,
Oh my god. Okay, Steve. So my final. You have any questions? You're good.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
No,
Well, my
go ahead.
final question is, what do you have any movie, comic, anything to recommend?
everybody's probably on this, but something's killing the children. Definitely go with Boom Studios. On my pull list right now is Gideon Falls. It's the last
Sounds good.
the final issue of the series. It's an
Uh-huh.
80-page issue. As far as movies are concerned, I would go with Good Night Mommy. It's
Ooh.
yeah, it's real unsettling. It's a
That sounds
Swedish movie.
scary.
Yeah, it's a Swedish movie about a mother that goes through like plastic surgery, and she has twins, and she comes in, and the twins are starting to kind of figure out that that's not their mom, and it's I like foreign films, right? Like I think a lot of
Yeah.
Japanese foreign films really get you.
Yeah.
This is a Swedish movie. Pretty damn good. And
Good.
it's really unsettling. I can't tell you how unsettled. Like after watching this, I was like, oh yeah, maybe I don't want to watch that anymore. Or
Well, I want to.
Haunted House LLC is another one that's on Amazon Prime. That one is it's about
This one
it's
right.
about
What was the name again?
I think it's Haunted House LLC or Hell
Oh.
House LLC, and basically it's kind of like
Oh.
it's like a YouTube documentary that these kids kind of developed this horror house
Uh-huh.
in this haunted hotel, and they're trying to fix it up. Oh yeah, that's it. And they're trying to fix it up. And as they're documenting their stuff, mad like horror paraphernalia type, or not paraphernalia, a paranormal type of stuff is
Uh-huh.
happening there. And in the end, they have this like YouTube clip in the beginning, and all this like wrestling around. People are like dying and stuff like that. They're running out of the house. So they go back and they like document all that stuff and what happened and what led to that. But it's a good movie. Like in the end, this girl goes to, I guess, meet this person at this hotel, and the person ends up being a ghost. As soon as she gets in that hotel, they're cloaked people that are there to greet her, and it's pretty scary. I don't know if it's Hell House LLC. It might be Haunted House LLC, but it is on Amazon Prime, and it's a good one. They made 2 and 3, but the first one was pretty good. I dig it. That picture of the group of kids, that was them right there.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
that
That
sounds
we need
creepy.
we need to watch those. Derek is asking, when will Steve be a guest again? Whenever he wants. Whenever
I'm
he's
in.
available. We'll look
I
for
mean,
more.
I didn't even get down to like my place where I'm sitting at right now.
Oh, we'll save that
You
for
know,
second album.
yeah, we'll save that for later. Yeah, we'll save that for later because it hasn't been like that at all again. But these 2 incidences, man, I had to reassess.
Okay.
Sage it
Well,
up.
yeah, document and
Yeah, we'll get back to it.
and we'll
I'm
have
still
you.
alive.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, we're at the hour already.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah, it went by
That was
fast.
fast, yeah.
It went by fast.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody at the chat. Thank you for hanging out with us. And see, it's the hour. I think he starts getting a little crazy over
Yeah.
here. Look at
Yeah, definitely follow Mama Comics and Tales from Lucy. Follow Team Nerd Herd Podcast. We're bringing content right at you.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask, like, where can they follow you? Where, like your guys' show?
Yeah, they could find me at Hip Hop's in Me, right there on my Instagram. I am with Team Nerd Herd Podcast. We have a show every Thursday. The group just opened up a new show, Selfo Balling, on Saturdays right before your show at 6 to 7. So definitely hit that up. And we also got Sunday. We also got interviews coming up. We're working on some real, specific content. This, like I said, this trend is coming, and we're all aboard, and we're all ready to rock.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you. Well, thank you again, and then hang on till we're done. But
yeah.
we'll see you guys. I won't be making a show the next 2 weeks till next year. We're taking a little break, the holiday break. I hope everybody has Christmas is this weekend.
yeah.
Oh my
Merry
goodness. Merry
Christmas,
Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Happy New Year. Oh my God. Let's hope that this freaking New Year is better than this one. But yeah, I forgot that I won't be doing the show. So till next year, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year
Merry
to
Christmas,
everybody.
y'all.
We'll see you next year. Bye.
Take care, y'all.
Oh, look at
Oh, there you go.
You too.
You
She's like,
too.
what's behind you? Yeah.
Well-
She's like, what's behind you? I'm like, oh.
Oh, okay, guy. Bye.
You too.
Yeah, look
You
at
too.
it. Oh, of course, I'll go back. Okay, bye.